Hey guys, just recording a video here, just a couple of thoughts. Um, Sorry for the mess. Day two of quarantine, so I'm looking a bit like a caveman. Imagine in 3 days. Anyway, I've been having a bit of a thought when it comes to, I'm not gonna talk about the coronavirus per se, as in what you should do and wash your hands and yada yada yada. I think everybody's kind of sick and tired of actually hearing about that. Everybody knows what to do. What I wanted to talk about actually was something a little bit different. Is basically what happens after. Because I don't think anyone's really giving this a lot of thought. Everybody's just kind of concentrated on the now of stocking food and have toilet paper, stuff like that. And I really wanted to address the issue of after. What happens after coronavirus? Um, just like September 10th, 2001, when everybody woke up, it was a different world. It was a different place. Everything changed, kind of, snap. And it doesn't matter whether you believe that 9/11 was an inside job or whether it was bin Laden, it doesn't matter. One way or the other, things changed. And from there to now, we really haven't seen much of a similar scenario where something kind of took the world and just, flipped it on its head. And I think we really need to discuss this. So my proposal is this: let's think of the coronavirus as being an experiment. Okay, and in any experiment, you have whether the result is negative or positive, it can be quantified into a certain spectrum of information where we can decide to learn from it or not. And I think we need to. I think we really need to learn from this, because what we are seeing with the coronavirus is very interesting, because it's like a bipolar system where at the same time we are seeing humanity in its best form. And some examples of this is the solidarity that we've been seeing through some people in wanting to help and putting themselves at other people's um, just basically saying, I'm here to help, how can I help? And we've seen this in many forms, whether it's someone sticking a piece of paper in an elevator and saying, to the old people in the building, said, look, don't go out. If you need something from the supermarket or medicine, give me a call and I will get it for you. I think this is something really, really nice, really, is a really nice gesture. Um, and on the other hand, we have, for example, Italy, where we're seeing people that have been under quarantine for weeks now, and they are, in some small manner, using their talent, singing or playing a piano or a guitar, and just, trying to be a good neighbor. And for that little piece of the day, for those like 5 minutes, just giving some those people around them a little bit of entertainment, and something to look forward to, which I think under quarantine the psychological stress is much greater than the physical stress. um, so on that side, we've seen something really amazing happening. um, and on the extreme side of that, we've seen the worst in humanity. Like in Australia, like here in Brazil, we've seen people ransacking supermarkets, piling up on just about everything, not giving two shits about other people, zero empathy. Um, and it's like, screw you, I'm gonna take care of myself, and whatever happens to you, that's your problem. So we've gone both ways here, and we have to learn with this, because um, we really need to get our shit together, as a species. Okay. We can't go living on like this for much longer because we are seeing a tipping point in where everything's just going to blow up. And this is kind of what's happening right now. The coronavirus is showing us a lot more than, well, we are just susceptible to, disease. Our behavior as a species will determine how we live or how we survive as a species. And another thing that has come to light in the middle of all of this, if we have a look at Venice, back over to Italy, how insignificant we actually are, and the fact that a couple of weeks under quarantine, and the canals have crystal clear water, and for anyone who's been there, they know that Venice is infamous for having bad smell and polluted water systems, and yet it only took a couple of weeks for for nature to kind of just take over, right? So you're seeing fish back in the canals, even dolphins have been spotted in the canals, swans swimming in the canals, and it's just a matter of weeks. And what does that show us? It shows us that we are nothing, right? When people say that we're killing the planet, we're not. We're really not. We're not killing the planet, we're killing ourselves. Okay? And that's it. I mean, ask those guys in Pompeii that are, frozen into place for all of eternity, ask them if they feel like a threat to the earth. Go over to Haiti and, ask people that probably still until today are probably buried in rubble, and ask them if they think that they are a threat to the earth. Indonesia, people that got swept out to sea, never seen again. Ask them if they're a threat, if they feel like a threat to the world. We're not. We're only killing ourselves. And that is the truth. At the end of the day, the earth, after we're long gone and, the last bone has turned to dust, the earth will be fine. There'll be plants, there'll be trees, there'll be animals. The atmosphere will recover. It always has. We've been here for a blink of an eye when it comes to, the time period of the earth, 3 point something billion years that the earth's been around, and we've been here for what, 200,000 years, engaged in, heavy industry for a little over 200 years, and you think that, we're a nuisance? No, we're not. We're really not. And this is what we're seeing. From under a pile of rubble that was taken down, that used to be maybe one of the largest buildings in the world, and then suddenly it's just a pile of nothing. I'll ask you, what's going to come from under that? Probably a tree, probably grass, probably vegetation, not another human being. So that's the truth. So we need to think about this, because if we want to survive, if we're going to survive, we need to change. Our system is broken. Our system is about as strong as a paperclip, and we can see that the world, for the first time in its history, has gone under quarantine. The whole planet is under quarantine. It's not one country. It's the whole fucking planet. Doesn't matter, south, north hemisphere, doesn't matter which continent you're on. I'm here in Brazil. No one ever thought something like this would happen here. Yet, here we are. Quarantine, 2 days. And probably going to go on for quite a bit longer. So, my point is this. The economy around the world is based on a system of debt. Okay? And it's so fragile. A paperclip serves its purpose as long as you carefully maneuver it and handle it in the correct way. As soon as you take that paperclip and you do something else with it, it will just snap. Okay? It's useless. You can bend it out of shape with hardly any effort, And that's pretty much our economic situation. That is our economic system that the whole world depends on. And all it took is one little virus and everything came crashing down. Might make you stop and think. Okay? And it doesn't matter how technologically advanced we are, nature will take over. And you want a visual of this? Just watch War of Worlds with, Tom Cruise and that screaming kid. H.G. Wells published this, I think it was in the 1800s. And in the film, we saw this advanced civilization of aliens with, powerful technology, and they're taken down by a virus, by a bacteria. And the fact is that War of Worlds is not a representation of what could happen to us when an alien species comes. We are the alien species. Like I said, this planet was not designed for us. And we can see that. It's easy. As soon as we're gone, it just grows back over us. Doesn't care. Rich, poor, black, white, yellow, whatever. You die, you're gone. And nature doesn't really care. So, and it's exactly that, except that in the film, it was this, alien species that came to Earth, but really, we're already here. And we are being taken down by bacteria, by viruses. And it will get to one point where one day, there will be one that, like in the Dark Ages, in the 1300s, the Black Plague, 2/3 of Europe, gone. Didn't matter. Kings, queens, duchesses, slaves, peasants, didn't matter. Nature doesn't discriminate. And it's not discriminating now. It doesn't care who you are or where you live. International president of Bank Santander just kicked the bucket. Right? So think about it. Think about what's going to happen after this coronavirus and where we're going with this. Because we're going to have to make changes. We're going to have to make a choice. And after the coronavirus, we are going to wake up in a different world. We're going to wake up in a different society. Our economic system is only good as the next disaster. Because it's basically, if anyone has ever studied the economic system and how stocks work, how stock markets, how anything related to that actually works, it's based on emotion. It's emotional. And as soon as you have a crisis, guess what? This topples over like a pile of Jenga. So stop and think about that. Stop and think about where we're going. There are some brilliant examples of people in the world that are trying to make a difference. People that are generally not giving a shit about how much money they make, but they want to make sure that they can leave something behind that will make our lives better and, the lives of the future generations better. Just off the top of my head, I'll give you Elon Musk. Okay? So, if you don't know who he is, do some research. But we have to think about this. We have to think about what will happen after. And we have to rethink what we're doing now. Because we're living on such thin ice with the system that we have today. It's ridiculous that we can actually even, trust it. It was funded by a handful of people, at the turn of the century, and it's just gone ever since because no one's ever questioned it, or nothing to this point has actually ever happened. No one alive today has ever seen a worldwide quarantine. That's the truth. I dare you to find someone that does. I dare you to find someone that has actually even ever gone through this. And I'm not talking about similar situations, Second, First World War, stuff like that. I'm talking about a full-out global catastrophe, not just, a couple of countries, bitching over some land or something. And this is nature showing us that we're screwed. Like I said before, when we're done, when we're gone, it will still be here. The only impact that we will actually have on nature is that we might leave behind a little bit of plastic, a couple of tins, and maybe one species or another won't be around to see it thanks to us. But I guarantee you that another species will be to take its place. So don't worry, if one goes extinct, another will pop up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we should just not give a shit. We have a duty to protect the planet that we're on. You know? We can't just think it's here for us. We have to be conscious that, you know, we have to take care of it. Because at the end, we're the ones going away, not the planet. So think about it. If you think it's complete bullshit, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. But if you have half a working brain, you'll probably figure out that some things I said, whether you agree with them totally or partially or completely not, but I'm probably not that wrong. Alright? So guys, please think about what I said. If you like it, if you agree with it, share it, send it to your friends. Maybe we can make people a bit more aware of what we're actually doing. Alright? Stay safe. Hope everybody that I know is doing okay. Quarantine's not easy, but we'll get through it. We always do. And, well, don't know for how much longer though, right?